Well, Nicki Minaj's brother got
Fucking-
sentenced to 25 to life.
He deserved that. Fucking clown.
He was raping this little girl
Fucking
like for
clown.
years.
Clown. Straight clown. They gonna do something to him though. Like,
Oh yeah, man, he gonna get to prison.
They
And
gonna do something to him.
like in the same way that he was able to overpower this child for his sexual needs,
they gonna overpower your fat ass.
his nice thick juicy ass go
Yeah.
be in prison there, and someone gonna look at him and say, man,
Definitely got big ass.
I bet you he would look good in a thong.
Pause.
Let's put a wig on him.
No, definitely no. They definitely.
Someone gonna look at that and say, yeah, that looks like a
definitely-
lot of fun for me.
He gonna definitely. Yeah, they gonna play with him.
And you know, Nicki was actually protecting him.
Nicki
She wrote a letter to the court saying that this is the kindest, nicest man she's ever known, and to give him mercy and stuff like
that
that.
nigga's a vicious animal. Like,
Yeah.
I got 4 daughters. Like, so as a black man with 4 daughters, and I had 3 little sisters, but with 4 daughters, like that is like, you know what I mean?
But I'll say this, okay? And number one, I think this dude is trash. I hope he gets the full extent of the life sentence.
Mm-hmm.
But when it comes to the court system, you have to kind of always take a step back, right? I didn't go to the court very carefully, so I don't know exactly what happened. But when Nicki and Meek were going back and forth, and he was saying, yeah, you know, you was protecting your pedophile brother, blah, blah, blah. And she's like, well, you were right, you know, his wife, you know, I have messages from his wife saying that she dropped the charges for 20 million.
For 20 million. Yeah.
And it's like, you look at that and you say, well, damn, that does complicate things a bit. Because think about it, when you talk about that type of money, not to say this happened, but you always have to look at situations like this, right? You can say, well, damn, if you're really trying to extort someone who got, you know, because she got 20 million.
She definitely got 20
She got
million.
that. She's got that. Well, let's take a look at Nicki Minaj's net worth.
I think the last time I checked, it was like 56 million.
85 million.
85 now?
85 million.
Oh my
She's
God.
worth close to 100 million, which makes perfect sense. Makes perfect sense.
that.
She's the top selling female rapper of all time. She's clearly a star. You know, like
She way too petty.
yeah, like the reality is that rich people get extorted all the time. Anyone with money becomes a target for extortion.
You got some money, somebody gonna figure
Someone
out.
going to try to figure out how to get it out of you as opposed to actually work. So when I heard that, I said, damn, like, what if, like, let's just say, like, the mother was like, yeah, you know, I don't like this motherfucker anyways. You know, I'm sick of his fat ass not doing nothing, just talking about his sister all the time. You know, we were all broke because Nicki don't help him financially. Fuck it. I'm going to tell my daughter to say this and this. I'm going to tell my son to say that he saw it. I'm going to, you know, fuck him and take some of his semen and put it in her fucking pajamas to make it look like DNA evidence. And then I'm going to see how much I can get out of it. And if I don't get nothing, fuck it.
That is an angle.
You know,
like,
fuck him anyways. I don't like him anyways. Not to say this is what happened,
But you
because
gotta
at the end of the day,
consider
he
that,
went to trial and he lost his trial. So, you know, beyond a reasonable, in a criminal trial, which is much harder than a civil trial, it's beyond a reasonable doubt. That jury looked at him and said, nah, he guilty.
He guilty.
But when you throw in that 20 million, you have to always say
that, like-
there is a slight chance that this was just a shakedown that did not work out.
I guess we'll never know.
Well, we will never know. We'll never know.
But it's really a fucked up thing when you think about it from that angle, like that somebody will really like go through those lengths. It's like the Sandusky thing. Like, it's like, you know what I mean? To say that them kids was lying and people were lying, like, that's a lot for somebody to go through that length to try to destroy a man. From
Well, with Sandusky, but there was no money to shake down. Like, you know what I'm saying? This guy wasn't rich. You're not getting anything out of Sandusky. With his pension, like, how much is that? Man, listen. Innocent people go to prison all the time. You know, there was recently there was the Who Killed Malcolm X documentary. I don't know if you saw that, but
I didn't watch it yet.
I even talked to the guy who helped put it together, who was like the main kind of focal point of the whole thing, and we talked about this on the phone, and it was discovered in the documentary. Essentially, at least one person went to prison for the murder of Malcolm X that had nothing to do with it, and the guy that actually pulled the trigger, who had the shotgun. This guy that was living in Newark, New Jersey, who recently died, was allegedly the trigger man, and he walked away from it.
It was like 4 trigger.
Yeah, it was like 4 or 5 people. Yeah, but the guy and they're at the Innocence Project is actually taking up his case to try to get his whole thing reversed now. So there's something to that.
Yeah, it was a whole conspiracy.
But like he did 20 years, and to this day he said, I had nothing to do with this murder. In fact, everyone there knew me. If I had walked in, they would have saw me right away. I wasn't even there.